Hello. I've my last video was a helmet review, and I realised that I didn't actually show the helmet itself, which is probably a bit of an oversight on my part. But here is the bad boy, obviously without the visor, and I've got the goggles, the 100% goggles in at the moment. And that's the drift camera on the side. So that's just my setup, just to show you what it looks like. Really, it's a beast. Right, this is my Scrambler. This is the second video I'm putting up on YouTube where I'm actually talking, so you'll have to put up with that, sorry. I just wanted to show you the bike. It's a 17 plate Icon Ducati Scrambler, and it's actually the second one I've owned. So I'm going to basically go into why I've had two of exactly the same bike, and that's going to be what this video is about. Grand. Yeah, so I'm just going for a ride. It's the Saturday. I'm riding from my home in Crawley, West Sussex, to where my parents and most of my family live in Woking in Surrey. There is a really good route that I take up there, cross country, but I'm not going to go that way today because I've done it to death. So the way I am actually going to go is sort of from Crawley towards Horsham. I get confused. I don't know if Horsham is Surrey or Sussex. I think it's Sussex, but I'm going to go towards Horsham. Oh, who that there then? Oh, Bill. I'm going to go towards Horsham. It's just dual carriageway to start off with, so it's going to be a bit boring. But then the road from Horsham up to Guildford, which is close to Woking, is really good, bendy, up and down. It's good fun. 8281 it is, so there'll be more of that than this sort of thing. I'm also this is a 17 plate, as you've seen. So I'm still running it in. It's only done 397 miles, so still very much running it in. So I can't rev it over about 5.5. So I'm not going to be absolutely belting it about like a bloody hooligan. But I'll try and keep the speed up. Well, yeah, I won't speed. I'm not. Well, yeah, every now and then. Or do I? So the dual carriageways, just sort of starting now. I've just picked this bike up. So I was saying I've not been for a ride for about a month. It's because the bike's been in the garage now. Yeah, it's been in for a long time. I'm not going to go into why it was in there now. That's probably for another video. But I've only just got it back after being off the road for a month. And as you can see, it's brand new, so I'm still very much running it in, livening it up a bit. I don't want to rev it too much. So I think the first thing to say is the bars, the guys at P&H, the garage where it's been, I don't know if you can hear me actually because there's quite a lot of wind noise. The guys at P&H have moved the bars much closer into well, your body. The bars are much further this way, and I really like it. It makes the bike feel a lot sportier. So the original Scrambler that I had, the original Icon, the bars were a lot further forward. Then when I picked up this bike, the second bike, they were sort of a little bit further back towards me, but now I've just picked this up from being in the garage for a month. They've moved the bars even further back, and I like it. Makes the bike feel a lot sportier, and it feels nicer to lean in the bends. So yeah, that's a positive thing. Sometimes I find it really hard to tell if I'm recording. Am I recording? Yeah. So yeah, still on the dual carriageway, so I'm not sure if you can hear this, but I'll get going with a real chat once we get to the A281. So this road is the A24, I think. And as I say, I'm not absolutely burning it because I'm still running this bike in. And I mean, it's a I don't rack it about anyway. This sort of bike obviously isn't so much for, you know, belting it along these kind of, you know, these kinds of roads anyway. But I mean, it does perform well when I ride it hard. I mean the previous bike after it was running. Apologies if it's just wind noise. But look here, we're approaching Horsham now. Historic market town. I can feel already my hand is starting to ache a little bit. Where I've not been riding for so long. Hand is starting. I've done about 10 miles. Not even that. All right. There's a big bear there. So just coming off the dual carriageway now. Am I recording? Can't see in the sunlight. Yeah, I'm recording. So just coming up to the start of the A281 now. Near Horsham somewhere. There are 2 lanes here actually. Yeah, so hopefully you can hear this a bit better. This is my second Scrambler. Exactly the same bike. Scrambler icon in yellow. This one's a 17 plate with 400 miles on the clock. Now, I originally got my first Scrambler in October 2015. So, what, a year and a half ago? It's what is it? It's June 2017. July, August. Yeah, about a year and a half. And I loved it. It was brilliant. I couldn't fault it. But in May of the following year, so 2016. So what's that? Sort of 6 or 7 months later, it started cutting out. It was always in similar circumstances. It would always be as I was slowing down, coming down through the gears, and as I would come, as I came down into first, I would sort of blip the throttle and it would cut out. I took it back to P&H, and P&H were, I should say, were really, really good through the whole thing. Took it back to them, and they basically couldn't find a fault. And I felt it was a brand new bike, and I shouldn't have had any issues. It certainly shouldn't have been cutting out. So anyway, this is the start of the A281 now. You can see already that it's uphill, you've got nice right bends. It's a great road. So it goes south out of Guildford down to Horsham. Oh dear. But the only trouble is you get a lot of traffic like this. Hopefully we can get past these guys. Yeah, so it kept cutting out. Now it would do it sort of 3 or 4 times a week, and then it wouldn't do it for a month, and then it would start again. And we wondered if it could have been the fuel, you know, dodgy fuel. But it basically went on and on and on for basically a year, intermittently cutting out. So I did some research online, and there were 2 or 3 people on the Scrambler forum, or that's first good. 2 or 3 people on a Scrambler forum reporting exactly the same thing. One of them was in the UK, I'm sure, or at least one was, and he got a replacement bike, but it happened to him very early on in his ownership, so I think within the first few months. So anyway, he got a replacement bike. So it was happening to other people. Then sort of probably a year into it, after going back and forth to P&H, and I'd already started a complaint to Ducati, so they were aware of it. And probably about a year in, I got a letter through about product recall for the Scramblers. I can't remember the exact name of the part now. It's a switch that side stand sensor. So I got a letter about this part, the side stand sensor, and funnily enough, when it first went back to P&H, they ran some tests on it and thought they ran some tests on it and found an issue with this sensor, so they replaced it. So I thought, oh great, it's sorted. That was the first time I took it in. But on the ride home, when I rode the bike home, it cut out again. So obviously it carried on. About a year in, I got the letter about the recall, and I thought, oh, that's it. It could be this second sensor that they put in. That could be faulty. That could solve the problem. But then P&H said no, it's not. And eventually I complained to Ducati. I was complaining to P&H, but as I say, they were very good. In the end, this was a replacement bike I was given. Now, actually, I wasn't given it. First again. I wasn't given it. I had to pay £1,000 towards it, which I was very annoyed about at the time. But essentially, I was paying £1,000 to replace, a 1.5-year old bike with a brand new 17 plate, and it would have cost me. I probably would have had the beans to make that, but I'm not revving it all the way at the moment. So I think if I would have needed a bit more, I would, I didn't want to risk it. So yeah, so they offered me the replacement, and I asked for £1,000, and as a goodwill gesture, it was £1,000. It should have been £2,500, which is obviously a lot more. So as a goodwill gesture from Ducati, they did it for £1,000. So I basically paid £1,000. I had headaches for a year and a half with the original Scrambler. I loved it, every aspect of it, apart from that. I had a few false neutrals at the start, but I think that was just sort of, that was just the gearbox and the transmission sort of bedding in. Had a few false neutrals, but I had this headache for a year and a half, and now I've got a replacement bike. So I'm so pleased to have a new bike, and I have had to pay £1,000 towards it, but it would have been 2.5. So, and obviously my old bike would have been worth, a lot less than this is now. So I think, all in all, it's come out, I've come out better for it. I'd be interested to know, your thoughts. anyone watching this what you think about that. I mean, obviously it's a done deal now, but well, I'm going to have to get past this fucking Sun T Now thing. So I'd be interested to hear your thoughts. I mean, what I also did was I phoned 3 other garages to see what they thought about it, to see whether they thought it was a good deal. I phoned another Ducati dealer in the south and they said, yeah, it sounds good. I phoned a Ducati dealer up in Manchester, or the big one there. They said it's good. Now obviously Ducati dealerships are going to say that, or you would have thought they'd say that. But so I phoned like an independent, a big independent garage. I think it was like Motorcycle Metropolis or something up in London. Right, this bad boy is turning off now. He explained it to them and they said, yeah, we think you should do it. And yeah, so here I am with a new bike. That's why I've got a 17 plate Scrambler, but I've actually owned one since October 2015, so pretty much when they first came out. Oh look, now we've got a bloody lorry. Now this one is Euro 4, so it's got this canister thing on the side of it. It's some sort of filter. So and it sounds slightly different to the non-Euro 4 Scramblers. It makes that bloop when you start it, and it's a bit more high pitched, but I don't mind that. As I've said, the bars are in a different place. Okay. Yeah, the bars are in a different place, but it feels more sporty. They're back. It feels good. And literally, I've ridden it for like 20 miles or so. It has actually got 413 miles in it now. But I love it. I've missed it so much in that month that I had off. So yeah, this is the A281. Go, whoa, hey! It's a bit bumpy in places, like there. I mean, it can get busy like this, though. But should I go? I think I'm gonna have enough. Yeah. I don't normally think about overtaking so much. It's just obviously now I'm only revving it. Well, I'm only revving it to 5.5, maybe a little bit more. So, oh, there's a bit of a wobble on there. So, another few things to say. Just before the bike went into the garage, this most recent time for a month, I bought myself a base layer. Gone past quite a few bikers now, and only 1 or 2 nodded, which is, oh, they hurt my feelings. I bought myself a base layer just before the bike went to the garage. Got it on for the first time. I did have, I think towards the end of last year, I did get myself some merino wool, like long john bad boys, and I've got them on. I almost bought myself some Oxford base layer trousers, but apparently merino wool, as well as keeping you warm, which was the reason I bought them in winter. I think I nodded. I don't know if he did. Like it's going to, as well as keeping you warm in winter, or warm whenever when you're cold. Apparently they keep you cool as well. So I've got the merino wool long johns on under these RSTs. Just washed these RSTs as well, because one of the last rides I did on my bike before it went into the garage was a particularly hot day, and I was absolutely ruined. I was soaked in sweat. It was absolutely, it was dripping off me, and all of my gear was absolutely sodden. So I've washed the RSTs probably for about the second or third time I've had them. I've had these sort of 2 years, maybe 2.5 years. That's as long as I've been riding, and they've been pretty sweet. But my thinking is, some of my biker mates tend to wear base layers underneath their gear, so when they sweat into the base layers and not their gear, so they don't have to wash their main stuff all the time. So that's my thinking now. So I've got a new base layer on. I got some merino wool long johns on my RSCs. Got a Furigan summer jacket that was like £100, and that's pretty good. I've got my Alpine Star summer gloves, my helmet, which I did a review of in my last video, and got my camera set up. I'm loving it. I'm so pleased to be back riding. The other thing is, with my Shoei, my helmet that I did the review of, a new ADV, Hornet ADV, the adventure helmet, it's so good because you can take all the liner, all the pads out of the inside and wash them, which I did because I got really fucking sweaty. So I took all of that out, so it's like the helmet's sort of, fresh, so fresh and so clean. Yeah, I just feel like a brand new biker really, on a brand new bike, just running it in. There's still some summer left, so yeah, proper sweet. So we're just approaching, well, Cranley, yeah, England's largest village, Cranley. Yeah, so Cranley's to the right. Cranley's to the right. Dunsfold is just to the left. That's where they filmed Top Gear. Just in well, not in the bush, on the track. Well, that's where they used to film it before Clarkson threw a wobbler. Real swooping bend. Uphill. You can lean it over. Good fun. Good fun on the 8281. But ain't that a bitch? Cyclist and a learner. No! Yeah, what a shitter. So we're just coming into Bramley now. I don't think it's the Bramley. Well, I think there are probably quite a few places called Bramley in England, in Britain. But it's a nice town. I'm not sure if it's like where the apple got its name. I don't know, but it is, yeah, nice village just outside Guildford. Oh dear! Oh dear! Ooh! Some of you might know Bramley because there's a Triumph shop garage thing here. Look. Ooh! Get you! Oh, I'll probably crash into the back of this effing and jeffing bike. I mean car. Looking at myself in the mirror. Not even a mirror. Are you going to go? Someone's got to go, 'cause we want to go home, and we want to live our life where we have so much fun. I can't even remember what I was talking about. Absolute gobbledy shoot. Absolute gobbledygook. Codswallop. Bobbins! Oh, what's going on now? Nightmare. Oh, filtration. Sucker. Bobbins! So we're coming into... We're coming into... I don't know where. Shalford. So we're in Shalford. Again, what a very pleasant village. Very, very pleasant. Is that a cross tourer? What was that? CG125? So, Shalford. What a wonderful way to spend your life, eh? Bobbins! So we're actually coming into Guildford now. Is that an Africa Twin? Not sure. Ooh, that's not a campsite. Is there some sort of... is it a festival? Or is it traveller folk? Go on, nod you cheeky cheekers. Oh, I really like that place. Very alpine, like a chalet. Overlooking the rowing club and the way. Oh, bloody hell, Guildford. Oh, look at the wayside. Hello there. Good day to you. So the last video I did was 34 minutes long, which I think is a bit long for a YouTube video. Balls, I've got the petrol light, and I'm feeling alright. Ah! Good day to you. Guildford Station. M&S, of course. Oh, we're gonna pop into M&S and get some chili tiger prawns for my supper. Look at the size of that. Look at the ironwork on that. Go on, son. Look, I can fit in the tiny little motorbike road. Oh, look at that's the money shot. F you, Porsche. I got a Ducati Scrambler. I do get that though. I was doing that quite a lot when I first got this replacement bike, where the biting point is in a different place. Sometimes I was really sort of popping. Pop it like it's hot. I was popping it like it was hot all the time. You're gonna let me in, aren't you, you fanny? King Fanny! Let me in! I've not had a cherry coke for bloody ages. Gotta be careful here. Is that wide enough, do you think? What's this cat doing? Looks back on his bike. Sainsbury's, Brookwood. Oh, we're here. Well, yeah, this isn't the reason I came. I rode 35, 40 miles. That would be ridiculous. We can go now. Oh, they got the new summer collection. Cheeky. There's a motorbike parking. Oh yeah. Right. Why have you got your fucking right indicator going, you bell? Why haven't you got your right indicator going, you bell end? That's it. Just go across both lanes. You. alright, you goon. Splashdown! Hello, Scruffy. Hello, Scruffy. Hello. Hello, Scruffy. Beast.